Next video on the list, okay, is why aren't actors ugly anymore? Now, I actually think this is a really good topic because I've just never, I don't know, I never really thought about it until I saw the title of this video. That, like, there's a solid, like, especially back in, like, I would say, like, really, like, all throughout the 1900s, like, the beginning of movies and whatnot, in, like, late 1900s, 1980s, 1990s, the men and the women, mainly the men, though, just really weren't that attractive. I mean, some of them were, yes, but, like, okay, I guess I would say you didn't have to be attractive to be a great actor or be in big movies. However, nowadays, almost every movie you see is going to have at least a somewhat good looking actor in it or actress as, like, the main role. And I was reading some of the comments and they were mentioning, like, it's all because it's marketing. Every movie is revolved around marketing, and it's easier to market a movie when you have good looking people. Which, yes, that does make sense. That makes a lot of sense. But also, let's just talk about the fact that, I guess, and this sounds kind of terrible. I'm not, like, I don't know. I guess I'm not trying to put myself in that, like, good looking category, but, like, I could imagine being an actor. If I was an actor and I was not a good looking actor, it'd be like, I would just assume it would be harder for me to get acting roles. Because, yeah, I mean, why? Like, you can be a great actor and you can deliver your lines perfectly. But if someone else can also deliver those lines perfectly and also look better, I mean, yeah, I'm going with that guy. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, I don't know. So I'm curious to see what this video has to say. Talk about some of the older actors, some of the newer actors. Just, talk about cinema.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Bill Murray was 33 when he shot Ghostbusters.
That's right, boys.
And in the 70s and 80s, this is what actors in their 30s and 40s look like. But something has changed since then, because actors that age today don't look like this
John
anymore.
Cazale,
I lost my hat!
Nicolas
They look like
Cage.
this, or like this. Actors today need to have great hair, perfect skin, and be in flawless shape. They don't look like regular
Yeah,
people
he's not
anymore.
wrong.
They look like supermodels.
Yeah.
This isn't every single actor, but it's clear there's been an overall change in how
That
A-list
guy,
performers look.
that's the guy from
It's
what?
also
That's the guy from the new one with motherfucking Leonardo DiCaprio. That movie was fantastic, by the way. That movie was fantastic. I can't fucking fall off. I'm sorry. I gotta look it up. Let's go to Letterboxd real quick. Let's go to one battle after another. The old guy that was just combing his hair right there.
they're shown to the camera.
He is a
like
funny
in
looking
low
motherfucker.
lighting
He did
and
great
with
though
more
in that
vibrant
movie.
colours.
One battle after
They're
another,
surrounded
gas.
by other people, and on an actual set rather than a green screen.
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
You're probably going to say this is because of a wider trend of movies looking bland and flat nowadays, and things like bad lighting, dull colours, and the Netflixy look make basically everything
That's also
in modern
true.
movies look worse. And also, we can't ignore cosmetic surgery.
As my plastic surgeon always said.
But if you look at movies from before the millennia, it's hard to deny that the actors looked more like regular people.
Keep it
Yeah.
still back there, lady, or else we're gonna have to shoot you.
I also just think, like, artistically, movies are not nearly as, like, artistic or risky with their artistic choices anymore as they used to be. Like, especially in, like, the 80s, 90s, everyone says that's, like, the peak time for movies, and that's because it truly was. There was so much creativeness coming out at that time compared to now. Not everything now, but movies are just so saturated now. You could find a movie. You have 4 John Wick movies. You got John Wick 4. You got a whole multiverse of Marvel movies and DC movies, just superhero movies in general. Like, action movies are so saturated. And not to mention the quality of movie, we are using CGI at a way higher level and way more frequently than we were in the past. So that grainy, like, almost ugly look is just not as appealing anymore to movie directors and, I'm assuming, cast, whatever,
Okay, so the word ugly is a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to objectify or body shame anyone. Most people who are cast in movies aren't unpleasant to look at. I just mean that they have bodies and faces that could theoretically belong to a normal person without the aid of personal trainers, dietitians, and plastic surgeons. They look like normal everyday people you could see walking
Yeah, like the
down
coach
street.
from Rocky. He's a fugly motherfucker.
Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Jack Nicholson aren't bad-looking guys, but they have a sort of everyman appeal that we just don't see in
Yeah,
today's
they're
stars.
both very like whatchamacallit. Bill Murray is a great actor. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say that. He is not a bad-looking guy. Caroline, thank you for the 3 squirrels. Thank you for the 3 squirrels. I love you, babe. Hi. I see ya. Bill Murray, great actor, first of all. Ghostbusters, all the other movies. Zombieland, love him in Zombieland. It's probably my favorite movie I've seen him in. He's got a very small part in that movie. But I wouldn't say he's like the greatest looking guy, but he carries himself like a more attractive person. He has the confidence to play more attractive people and characters, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And a big part of this is that today, people
And
just
Bruce
generally look
Willis.
younger.
Like, Bruce Willis has that badass look to him.
26.
There's a great Vsauce video from a few years ago that goes into this in more detail. Essentially, the clothes and overall style has changed, and combined with better medical care, nutrition, and less smoking, people are healthier and better looking.
Guess I started smoking when I was about 4.
So here's a few age comparisons that highlight this in
My
action.
mom was already dead then from lung cancer.
Gene Hackman is 44
That's,
here.
yeah,
Actors
Jesus.
in their mid-40s today look like this.
Are we soulmates?
That's crazy. No, what? Hold up. That's supposed to be a 40-year-old? I mean, that looks like a
He's
40-year-old.
44 here.
44?
Actors in their mid-40s today look like this.
See, like, Chris Evans does not look 44 whatsoever. He looks late 20s, early 30s in this, realistically. I mean,
Are we soulmates?
or like this. There's quite a big difference.
Just a little slide.
like, Jake
Sylvester
Gyllenhaal
Stallone
looks
was
like he's
30 when
fucking
he first
30.
shot Rocky.
Look at his face.
A comparable actor today would be Timothy Chalamet at 29.
Young
That's
They play very different
crazy.
types of characters. If we want to be
That's
fair, let's compare 2 all-American action
Drop
stars.
it, dickhead.
Glenn
Oh.
Powell, 35 in Twisters.
Yes.
And Bruce Willis, 33 in Die Hard.
Okay,
Robert
yeah.
Pattinson was 35 when he played Batman, and Michael Keaton was only 2 years older.
Bruce Wayne.
Are you sure?
But Keaton has visible
Michael
lines
Keaton
around
does
his
look
mouth.
very
His hair is receded
different
a
when
bit,
he's
and he has a
younger, though.
subtle 5 o'clock shadow.
Michael Keaton is a very weird exception because I don't know. Me personally, I feel like Michael Keaton looks older even though he's younger. He has like an old facial features, but he's got like young hair. Like when he played Batman, I feel like he looked like late 30s. But like his hair should have been graying sooner than it was, if that makes sense. Robert Pattinson looks like he's in his late fucking 20s in Batman. He looks like a damn like young adult.
That doesn't feel purposeful. But Pattinson, even though dressed up to look sleep-deprived and reclusive,
Yeah,
has
I mean,
a chiseled jaw and perfect
I don't know,
skin.
he looks
Overall,
he looks like a
lot younger.
distressed young adult
But
in that movie.
there's something more at play
in
than
Batman.
just simply looking older in the past.
Frank, they're not here for you.
It's the kind of faces that have changed too.
Weird Al
Liam
Yankovic is
Neeson.
on the planet.
It's the everyman look, receding curly hair or imperfect skin. And it's because of these distinct features that characters had a stronger sense of personality just by looking at them.
For
Do
sure.
you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
But before we continue, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Opera Browser. With Opera's integrated tools, I can easily organize my research. I just press Command/ or Control/ and a command line pops research tab. Opera's also create organize and use split side tab. Helpful when juggling
Bruh.
things working on VidPin comment.
get a move
And
on
now,
here.
back to ugly actors and aesthetic personalities.
Do you have any hobbies?
Aesthetic
In the opening of Once
personalities
Upon a
and
Time in the
interesting
West,
looking
we meet
faces.
3 characters who don't survive the end of the scene.
And I think that's another thing that I haven't even really thought about. Like, yeah, like I don't know what it is, man, but something was in the air back in the late 1900s. Some of you adults just came out looking kind of weird. No offense, but like I don't know. I feel like people are just naturally like prettier now. Is that bad to say? Oh God, George, Jesus. spite me. But I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people are just prettier now. Like, I look at a person my age, and realistically, they could be anywhere. Like, someone could see them as anywhere from 16 to 28, you know? Like, the range of age in terms of how you look, I feel like is so much larger now than it was back then. Like, back in, like, 1980s, 1990s, 1970s, even early 2000s to an extent, you looked your age. If you were in your 30s, you looked like you were in your 30s. If you were in your 20s, you looked like you were in your 20s. If you were a teenager, you looked like a teenager. Now, you got 10-year-olds and 13-year-olds that look like motherfucking super soldiers, okay? You got kids that should be juniors in college, and instead they're seniors in high school, okay? And unfortunately, that's just the name of the game, okay? It's nothing you can really do about it.
Al Mullock has long hair blowing across his face and vibrant blue eyes. Jack Elam has the long eyebrows and beard that goes down his neck. And then Woody Strode looks completely different, with a square jaw and a piercing look. From their faces alone, we can get a level of understanding to their character. It's hard to put into words, but we get a feeling that this guy
But we also,
is going to behave.
Like, old westerns aren't even, like, a thing anymore. So, like, they also just don't even need characters that, like, look like that anymore, because those kind of movies don't come out.
Differently to this guy. And then compare them to the station manager. We can understand the dynamic just from the way they look. You can say this is down to great casting, and to some extent it is, but ultimately, it's just these guys' faces that carry the entire 15-minute opening.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be alright.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Wow. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
You're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians in his pocket.
And this isn't just limited to side characters. Even the leads in the past had a more interesting look. They didn't all look like supermodels.
You look like 40 miles of rough road.
This is people like Sissy Spacek, Leslie Nielsen, and Cher. They simultaneously look like a normal person, but also have a unique look.
Completely normal individual.
Kurt Russell in Escape from New York was big, but in shirtless scenes his abs have little definition.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis was handsome, but his receding hairline and modest muscles retain a sort of everyman look.
Yeah.
And compare how Hugh Jackman looked in the first X-Men film in 2000 to Deadpool Wolverine.
No, deadass. Yes, deadass. That is a perfect example. Dude, the standard of physique, the standard of physique now is actually crazy to what it was in the early 2000s or even late 1980s, 1990s. That was a perfect example. Hugh Jackman, like, people thought he was yoked in this movie. People thought he was shredded and in, like, the best shape ever in the old X-Men movies. And even if you were to look at, like, Chris Evans in Fantastic Four, you could say he has, like, a good physique, I guess, even though he has a suit on most of the time. But, like, compared to now, dude.
2000 to Deadpool Wolverine.
Look at this motherfucker. He is peeled down to the bone. Dude, he's like 7% body fat right there. In the first picture, he's probably like 15, 17. That's like me right now. Like, come on. Like, that's light.
The effect of this. What is
That's
the effect
crazy.
of seeing these regular looking people on screen? And how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes?
This is Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
I'm Rosemary Woodhouse.
As the film progresses, she cuts her hair shorter and begins to look paler and thinner. Visually, we understand the transformation the character is undergoing.
I'm not changing. I just want to go to Dr. Hill and get a second opinion.
Would this work if she was played by someone like Margot Robbie? I don't think so. It's Mia Farrow's unique look that helps make the character feel like an actual person that could exist somewhere, which makes us empathize with her more.
Dr. Hill, please.
It's the same with John Travolta in Blowout, Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and Malcolm McDowell in
Jack
Clockwork
Nicholson
Orange.
for sure. Yeah, The Shining
in Star
for sure.
Wars, Luke and his family look like fairly ordinary people.
Yes, they
Whereas
do.
Grand Moff Tarkin and the Imperial officers have a much more austere look to them.
German.
Keep the local systems in line.
In the 20th
They look
century, the
foreign.
pool of actors to choose from seems to have been much more aesthetically aesthetically varied than it is today. There was actors with big noses,
I got it. Go ahead.
big foreheads,
He's gonna prove it to the whole world.
heavy-set eyes,
Did you know that?
and receding hairlines.
You and me
That's
together, that'd be
crazy.
tops.
I've
We
never like really
subconsciously infer
realized
things
that as
about
much
people's
until
personality
now.
based on their features, which in turn helps them create a richer character without much heavy lifting.
Mentally, you picture
The stories were just so much
In Taxi
more.
Driver,
The stories were just so much more in depth, I feel like, back in this era. Like, seriously. Like, it's honestly upsetting me because I'm like, damn, that's exactly part of the reason why movies and cinema has just fallen off as a whole. And this is coming from one of the biggest movie fans y'all could know. I love movies. I watch a movie almost every single day. Or at least I try to watch a movie almost every single day. Like, I genuinely try to watch a new movie every day if I can. Not every day. Like, it doesn't always work out, but like I try. And it upsets me, dude, because like I'm always trying to find good new movies, but at the same time they're all just the fucking same, and it's all because all they care about is how they look and not actually like how you feel, you know? But when you have people that are just not naturally as good looking, you don't focus on that. So you focus on the actual like artistic ability of the movie. You actually focus on these fucking plot and the story and the shit that makes the movie actually good.
De Niro's buddies look like real cab drivers you could actually find in New York. This guy, completely bald on top but with a flow at the back. This guy with his scruffy beard and round
Yeah, bro,
glasses.
like, they look-
and even De Niro
they
himself
look like
has five
bums,
shadow
but that's
and
what
redness
makes
around
it
his
seem
eyes.
real.
If he got into a cab and this was the driver, you wouldn't think twice.
Did I tell you to do that with the meter?
All of these actors look like they actually belong in the setting rather than just walking out of a dressing room.
Can I talk to you for a second?
And this is environmental immersion.
So the environments are just so different
in
too.
1976, after Sylvester Stallone went 15 rounds in Rocky, his face was soaking wet, his hair sticking to his head, and he's covered in blood with his face fully contorted with bruises. But in 2015, after Michael B. Jordan fought in Creed,
Much
he's
cleaner.
just got a subtle sheen of sweat and a small bruise around one eye.
Whew, he did get popped though.
At the end of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's suit is ripped to hell, revealing his bruised, dirty and sweaty face and this chaotic tear across his mask.
Mr. Osborn.
But for Tom Holland, he's got a couple of cuts that seem very intentionally placed, and his suit
Yeah.
isn't ripped at all. His mask hasn't been torn open, but just neatly taken off.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is just
After Clint Eastwood
fuck.
walked 70 miles in the desert, his face is completely scarred and burned. We can barely recognize it. But today, there aren't many examples of actors looking scarred like this. It seems like everyone has to look perfect all the time.
No,
It's
that's
as if
so
somewhere along the way, almost
true.
every actor has taken the substance and transformed into a kind of picture-perfect version of themselves. Not a single
Oh, wow.
wrinkle, not a hair out of place,
Yeah.
and completely smooth skin. The best we'll get is maybe a small smear of dirt or a tiny cut.
No, literally.
And they look
After
great, but when everyone
plunging.
looks perfect, things start to get a bit
No, that ass, bro. But that's been. I mean, look at this motherfucker. He looks like gosh damn Superman. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
cut. And they look great. But
Oh.
when everyone looks perfect, things start
So
to get a bit
bad.
stale.
It's not good.
And sure, this isn't every single actor working today. You can still find distinct looking people, but it seems like it is the majority of them.
It is definitely more rare. Dude, they just pointed out Dune. That's one of the things that makes Dune so good is that they actually like they have good looking people, obviously, yes, but like y'all saw in that new trailer what they did to fucking Robert Pattinson. That motherfucker look retarded. Sorry, chat. Sorry, not retarded. He looks a little, weird, And there have been a lot of other weird characters in Dune, and it makes it more like enthralling because you're like, ugh, like this motherfucker, this guy actually looks like this. Like, how does he look like this? What the,
In an article
Gives
from
you something to talk
2021,
about.
Raquel S. Benedict likens our body to becoming investments in which we have to maximize our value through looking good. We're reduced to a collection of features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no longer the vehicle through which we experience joy and pleasure, but a status symbol that needs to be constantly presentable to the world.
Put your greasy tits away, you preening slut.
For actors, this is taken to the extreme, especially for women. They can never age or show any imperfection. They need to be a bankable star, and a big part of this is looking good on camera.
Pretty girls should always smile.
Let's take hairlines as an example. Sure, Andrew Garfield probably got a hair transplant because he thought it would improve his appearance, but also because it's better to have a smaller forehead as a leading man. And with modern technology, if you can fix this, Why wouldn't you?
Yes, Sergeant.
Wow.
This just wasn't the case in the past.
I didn't
hence a wider
realize that he
spectrum
did
of
that.
hairlines and a bigger aesthetic variety.
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
But today, this is becoming increasingly noticeable, and more people are commenting on it, and here are a few things they've said. I miss actors having normal teeth, and then a picture of Tom Cruise from The Outsiders.
Check this out, buddy.
No,
It's
that
so
ass,
annoying
his
just
teeth
saying
are so jacked up in The Outsiders. Great movie, by the way. Great movie. Okay, great movie.
Boring that everyone has the same teeth, the same body. I miss people looking different and interested.
Restroom and make sure my hair is perfect.
I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night, and it stood out to me that while Sutherland is hot, he's also clearly in his 40s. Like, if Hollywood wanted to make a movie of a 40-something A-lister playing a middle-aged health inspector, who would they cast? Ryan Reynolds? Chris Evans?
I got this.
We no longer have leading men who are good-looking and charismatic, but also don't look like they wake up at 5 AM to hit the gym. On Twitter, someone was talking about the 1974 movie Taken of Pelham 123. They said it's weirdly invigorating to watch a movie where every actor has an incredible face, and they all look normal, like no veneers in sight.
This is supposed to be a democracy.
Old actors have more grace than current ones. We can't have a truly accurate cast for the Beatles because they just don't make weird, crusty-looking young men actors like that anymore. I miss casting movies that weren't all A-listers or trying to be. Sometimes just having normal
Yeah,
people in
that
a
is
movie makes it
true.
feel more realistic.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing that, I mean, he is talking about, but like, A-list actors is like, A-list actor, being an A-list actor is a term that is used way more now, and I feel like has a lot more pull now than it used to, you know? Like, you could say now that, like, Timothée Chalamet is an A-list actor, but then you also got Michael B. Jordan, but then you also got, like, Tom Cruise, but then you also got, like, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio, yada, yada, yada. But back then, it was, like, what, fucking George Clooney? Like, I don't know. You couldn't tell me. I don't freaking know. What was an A-list actor back in the 80s, 90s? Like, Denzel Washington was an actor back then. But he was also, like, young and up and coming, you know? So and also, like, the awards and everything, it's just so much more saturated now. I know I keep saying that, but, like, fuck.
Which someone replied, convinced this will be the downfall of the Odyssey. Which brings us on to perhaps a good label.
It might be the downfall of the Odyssey.
That we see today.
Because that cast is perfect.
iPhone face.
Like, actually.
It's hard to define, but I think it's basically this kind of pristine look that most actors seem to have. It's why some people look out of place in period pieces, because they've got a modern haircut or their teeth are too white. They're striving for a kind of look that didn't really exist before the 21st century. And this speaks to a kind of aesthetic that many modern movies have. They're perfectly lit, the set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes.
Oh, wow.
But this kind of perfection just makes it all look boring. It's the messiness of a normal kitchen, or the dirt kicked up from horses, the colour of the set, and the way it's lit. We're losing a sense of personality not only in how actors look, but in how films in general look. Digital cinematography has given everything the same kind of Netflixy feel. Look, this isn't every movie, and it's not every actor. If you look for it, you can find interesting looking people in modern movies, but this whole change in how actors, and by extension movies in general, look, is a natural result of an industry that's afraid to take risks. Movies need to make money, so they minimize anything that could theoretically make the film less successful, but in the process, remove what makes it special. Both films and actors aren't ugly anymore. They're not dirty anymore or bruised anymore. No one looks normal, and everyone looks perfect. And this is a problem.
It is a problem. It is a serious problem that I really did not realize until now, bro. Like, oh my. I did not think that, like, I didn't realize how saturated the movie industry was, I guess I should say. I just didn't realize how saturated the movie industry was with just, like, good-looking people, and that literally almost every movie you see now has a good-looking person in it, for the most part. I mean, I really couldn't, unless it's a movie about being some kind of ugliness or, like, messed up, no offense to anybody, then I feel like, I mean, it's just not really, unless you're, like, old. Like, I mean, obviously, there's guys like freaking, like, I guess, like, Liam Neeson. I don't know. Like, Kurt Russell, or, like, Russell Crowe, he still gets some some movies here and there. He's not that great looking, I feel like. I don't know. Like, there's people, there's a very rare amount of people that get spots for not being attractive in movies now. And that, I don't know, that's definitely something I feel like that should be changed. That's just part of the reason why 80s and 90s movies were so good. But I'm not going to keep going on a tangent. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I think we're going to move on to the next one. I'm not quite sure what that next one's going to be. But I hope you hope you enjoy the video. Drop a like, subscribe. See you all in the next one.